From the Ear to There Travel Studio, this is the Ear to There Disney Podcast.
The Ear to There Podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Ear to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ear to There Disney Podcast. I am your host, Phil Ramlick. I am also the owner and the founder of Ear to There Travel, which is a Disney-specialized travel agency. It is my job and the job of every vacationeer on the Ear to There travel team to take away all that stress, all that anxiety, and all that time that it takes to plan a Disney trip so you can focus on the really, really fun things like having a great time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. And we will take away all that stress, all that anxiety, and we'll give you back all that time at absolutely no extra cost to you. So yes, we will get you the best possible price on your Disney hotel reservation or package. We will handle all of your transportation, your dining reservations, your fast passes, your special event tickets. You name it, we will take care of it, all with a smile and for free. I mean, you still have to pay for the vacation, but you don't pay us anything. You pay Disney. And you can find this podcast, you can find the blog or request your free, no obligation quote through me or through any other of our vacationeers at ear2theretravel.com. Okay, this is episode number 155 for the week of January 28th, 2019. Now, grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. And we're going to start this episode off just like we start off every numbered episode of the Ear to There Disney Podcast. And that is with the What About Bob segment of the show. This is where retired Disney Imagineer and Disney legend Bob Gurr comes on the show to answer your questions and mine. Now, if you're not quite sure who Bob is, Bob created things in Walt Disney World, in Disneyland. Well, he created a lot of things. He designed the Doom Buggies, the black vehicles on the Haunted Mansion. Bob designed the monorails. Yes, the monorails in Disneyland and Walt Disney World, the first ever monorails in the Western Hemisphere. Bob built the submarines that are still operating in Disneyland today and once operated on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in Magic Kingdom. The Main Street vehicles, the Autopia vehicles, the list goes on and on. If it's on wheels and it's in Disneyland or Walt Disney World, Bob probably built it. To get your question into Bob, you can call the voice line. That phone number is 267-551-1971. Or you could always email that question to me at phil@eartotheretravel.com. And the What About Bob segment is brought to you by the Waltland Bus Tour. So each month, Bob takes a busload of lucky guests around Southern California with stops in Los Angeles, in Glendale, and in Burbank. You'll see Walt and Roy Disney's houses that they originally bought in California and Los Angeles. You'll see 1401 Flower Street, which is the original home of Walt Disney Imagineering, or WED. You'll swing by the Disney Studio, all kinds of great places that you'll see in the history of the Disney company, but most importantly, in the history and the life of its founder, Walt Disney. To get tickets to the Waltland Bus Tour, just head over to www.waltland.com. All right, without further ado, here he is, the one, the only, the legend, Bob Gurr.
It's What About Bob? Bob Gurr, the legend, creator of the Matterhorn, the monorails and the Haunted Mansion. What about Bob, the Disney legend?
I was wondering if you could share with me and with my listeners the story of you getting the test drive the monorail.
Yes, I think a lot of architects and civil engineers, they think of overhead trains. They immediately think of the Chicago L, which is big vibrating rattle trap of a system. And they assumed that a monorail going through a building would cause the same kind of noise and vibration and disruption. They would not believe that a monorail with the suspension it's got with rubber tires and a very high density concrete beam, there's going to be no detectable vibrations imparted into the building, but they still wouldn't believe it. So there was an agreement made that this was 1971, pre-opening. In fact, it turned out to be Labor Day, where all the construction crew would be away for the day. That we picked that day to set up a seismograph. We had a seismograph that I had the company buy several years before. It was called an AR-240 strong motion oscillograph that's used for measuring earthquakes in buildings. But we'd been using it for testing vehicles in order to figure out all the ride forces. So we bolted this big old box, bolted it down to the concrete deck, and then I was supposed to drive the train while a couple of people there were to operate the seismograph. So the idea was that I would go through the building at wide open power and how fast as the train would go. And I remember coming in from the south side, and there's an opening that the train passes through. And I'm going about 42 miles an hour, and I thought that opening is too small. You know, you're going through the mouse port, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I went through there, and the train I never saw such a sight. I went through that hotel. I didn't even take 10 seconds to go through the length of the building.
Man.
And then on the radio, they said, "Okay, looks good. No, we're not getting any data. Come back, do it again." So I went around for a lap and came back around again and did that. And it turned out the seismograph didn't detect anything. But my hair was standing on end at the end of that session because I was the only person of record ever went faster than 5 miles an hour through that building.
Oh, man. Did you get anybody to film it? Did they film that for you or anything?
No, this was a secret test. We had it ready. Labor Day, nobody's there except Dave Gengenbach, who's the monorail manager, and a couple of civil engineer architect guys.
I kind of wish I could see the video of the monorail going through there that fast.
Well, we didn't have video in those days, really.
No, yeah, I guess you wouldn't, yeah. Well, that's such a cool story. I heard it before, but I wanted to hear you say it just because it is, I mean, that's amazing to be able to, I can't imagine seeing that little hole in the side of the inside of the Contemporary and thinking, I might not make it through here. That's got to be.
Yeah. Well, it was such an outrageous thing that we had to do that I have today an absolutely vivid memory of doing that. It's a vivid memory as strong as when I got a ride in the P-51 Mustang years ago. Those kind of things where you're doing something really fast that. Man, your recording disc in your brain is just soaking it all up forever.
Thanks again to Bob for answering another question on the show. That one about the monorail is one of my all-time favorite stories that Bob has ever told, so I wanted to make sure I shared that at the beginning of a regular episode of the show. So thanks again to Bob, and thank you for listening. And on we go. Here we go with episode number 155. "2019 is going to be a huge year in movies in the Disney company. I think I am going to spend a small fortune on the movies with my wife, with my kids this year, and especially just on myself for the films that my wife and kids won't want to go see with me. We're going to get into it this week. We're going to look ahead to all of the awesome movies that are coming out from Disney here in 2019. Here to talk all about 2019's upcoming Disney movies with me is a man who might see them all. My friend Chuck. Chuck is a big, huge movie fan. I'm excited to have you on. Chuck Rodriguez, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's not so much that I'm a fan; it's just that I've got the time because I have no children and no pets.
And everything alive in your apartment dies.
And the Golden Girls chia pets are already covered in fuzz. It's like it's not good. It's not good. I don't know what's happening there.
I've seen the pictures of the Golden Girls chia pets online.
Yeah, it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
They don't look healthy.
Nope.
So I just had you on a couple weeks ago to preview the theme parks in 2019. Now we're going to talk all about the movies. And I don't do a whole lot of these podcasts, but this year, man, this 2019 is a big year for Disney movies. Huge. So I'm excited to do this one. And I know, here's what I'm worried about with you. You almost love everything that you see in a movie theater. Is that true?
I have been told that I seem to, whenever people ask me, like, what I've seen last, it seems like I say, oh my God, that was the best movie I've ever seen in my life all the time. But I don't actually think I know I don't actually believe that, so I don't know what's coming out of me. I don't know.
All right, well, so we're going to be Siskel and Ebert here before we even see the movies. I'm obviously Siskel because I'm very bald. You can be Roger Ebert. I think they both passed on. So we're the ghosts of Siskel and Ebert in this episode. And I would love to know, like, after we go through them, if these are movies, I'm sorry, that you would like to see or that you won't be seeing in the theater. So let's get started. Coming out, the first big one coming out this year, March 8th, just about a month and a half away, Captain Marvel is coming out, which is, I'll tell you what it's about. It's set in the 90s. Captain Marvel will follow iconic hero Captain Carol Danvers, a former U.S. Air Force fighter pilot, and how she becomes a member of the elite Kree military unit called Star Force. Now, I have to admit, man, I'm a little underwhelmed by the previews. But I've seen the trailers, little bit underwhelmed. I had a lot of expectations. Of course, I didn't see the film yet, so I'm hoping it's just the trailers that are underwhelming. What do you think so far about Captain Marvel?
I have not watched trailers or previews, and like all of the Marvel movies, I never was a comic book kid, and I am not an adult either. So I have to take it in the sense that I do read that Captain Marvel will be an integral part of the next Avengers movie, which obviously we'll get to. So on that alone, I feel like I should see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see it, and I'm hoping, so it's set in the 90s, right? So I'm hoping Marvel does a great job with the comedy in their movies, and it being, like from Thor Ragnarok to the Avengers to Iron Man, and they all have a really good amount of funny moments in them. So are you hearing those beeps coming through?
No.
Okay, good. Never mind, listener. That beep did not come through. So they all have very funny moments in them. And this one being set in the 90s, I'm looking for, pagers, big hair, 90s cars, maybe the MC Hammer pants. Like, that's what I'm hoping I get to see in this movie. I hope Marvel kind of takes the 90s and runs with it. But, like, looking at the cast. All right, so you see Brie Larson. I don't know if you know much about her, is Captain Marvel. Of course, you get Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Bob Mendelsohn is Talos. I don't know. Let's see, who else do we have? Annette Bening is in it. Clark Gregg, of course, who plays Phil Coulson. And we're getting Jude Law in this one. So cast is good.
It is a cast.
Yeah, so I'm just, I was a little underwhelmed, so I'm hoping. By the way, Chuck, I appreciate you watching the trailer and knowing what the heck you're talking about. Like, you would think you would prepare a little for this one. But I love the Marvel movies. I don't think I've seen one that I haven't liked. So I'm hoping the trailers just kind of, and maybe they're a little low key on purpose. I hope so.
Why would they be low key on purpose?
I don't know, man. Maybe they're trying not to give away much about what, her connection is to the Avengers and to, because at the end of the third Avengers film, of course, you see Nick Fury, as he's turning into dust, calling Captain Marvel. maybe I don't know. I'm hoping it's good. I will definitely see it. This is definitely one because listen, almost all of these on this list I'm going to see eventually. A lot of them I can't see because I have little kids, but this one I'm hoping we could talk the kids into. So I'm giving this a thumbs up. I'm going to see it.
Yes, I'm giving a thumbs up as well, just based on the fact that it's supposed to be important for the Avengers movie, so I might as well see it and be prepared.
I love your reasoning. You're like, I guess I'll go spend the $40 because I'm supposed to say it. All right. The next one on the list. Here's one that has completely divided my house. Completely. March 29th, Tim Burton's Dumbo is coming out.
How is it dividing?
My kids are terrified by the trailers. Terrified. Listen, Tim Burton is I think he's a very kind of love it or hate it kind of director, the way he takes his movies. I didn't love, obviously, this isn't a secret, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't get it. I'm not a fan. I've seen it a couple of times. So, and I've talked about it on this podcast ad nauseum, so I'm not going to do it now, except for that little part. But
I think you like that movie as much as I like cheese.
What else? Cheese? What else do you not like? There's other. You have something else. Oh, peanut butter, which blows me away. It's like two of my favorite foods, and two of the only foods my kids will eat: cheese and peanut butter. But yeah, it's been. So when I say it's been dividing and polarizing in my house, that's kind of a lie because I'm the only one that wants to see it. Nobody else wants to see it in my house. So listen, it's Tim Burton. It's Dumbo. It looks very different than the 1941 Dumbo, which is like 58 minutes long. So the shortest animated film ever in Disney in Disney's library. But I don't know. It looks very, very, very different than the kind of, even though the animated version has very sad moments. This looks like a pretty darn sad movie. I'm interested in what you're thinking about it.
I mean, I've seen that trailer several times by myself and with children and whatnot, and everyone always says, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see that."
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say. My children have to hide their eyes, especially when they see Dumbo in like the clown makeup. They're out. No part of them want to see that. So,
well, that actually is in the real.
I know animated. It's in the movie. I know, and my kids have all seen the animated one and they like it. And I just think, I don't know, Amy, who Chuck, can't handle like anything sad or scary. As soon as she saw the preview, she was like, "Nope." She's like, "I'm not seeing that." So the cats, there's Colin Farrell, Michael Keaton, who, by the way, he's had like 3 or 4 runs in his career that have been awesome. Like the guy goes away for a while and then comes back and makes like 5 great movies.
Like comebacks, yeah.
Yeah, he's just it's crazy. The guy, he was like the star on in the 80s with all the kind of family, Mr. Mom and Gung Ho. And
love Mr. Mom. Mr.
Mom's a great movie. Yeah, that's still funny to me to this day. Then he came back, of course, with Batman in '89. Then like, I don't know, he was in Jackie Brown. He had a small part. But then he did the Birdman movie and he did Spider-Man Homecoming, which he was awesome in, by the way. He was a great villain in Spider-Man Homecoming. He was creepy. Did you see The Founder, by the way, the Ray Kroc McDonald's movie?
That was good.
Really good. So anyway, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, who's in a million movies a year. I don't know how. The dude, he just is in everything. Eva Green, Alan Arkin. It's got a really, really great cast. So I will be singing music by Danny Elfman, of course, because he does like every movie that Tim Burton does. I will be seeing it. Definitely thumbs up from me. My kids definitely, if my kids could bury their thumbs underground, they would give it the thumbs down. So how about you? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm assuming thumbs up.
It's been a thumbs up since the first time I saw the trailer, which has been like almost a year ago by now.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed so far the live action remakes, even though this one has a lot of like CGI. Well, they all have had a lot of CGI. I mean, realistically,
kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean they're fairy tales, right? What else are you gonna do? But yeah, I've liked them. The one I didn't love was Cinderella. I thought that was like, that's fine.
with you. That's the one I found the most boring.
The ball scene was like an hour and a half. Like,
Yeah, no, I did not love it. I
Yeah.
would not see it again.
no, I wouldn't see it again either. We took Alexa. She was younger, I don't know, a few years ago. And I remember sitting there and I was like, how did people, like, I know it's not a movie especially made for like 5-year-olds, but I kept looking over at her being like, I don't know how she's sitting through this. Like, I'm not even able to sit through it. So both of us thumbs up on that one. I'm excited. I want to see it. I'm not as excited as the next one we're going to talk about. And April 26th, I'm surprised it doesn't have a midsummer release. But it's Avengers Endgame, of course, is coming out. I expected this to come out July or 4th of July weekend or something, but it's April.
Well, I mean, it'll launch the summer blockbuster season, which does seem just like Christmas. It does seem to start earlier and earlier.
Yeah, it does. By the way, right now, this time of the year, dead time for movies. Dead. Like nothing coming out. Like we're looking every week. We just saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse on Sunday.
You see, I appreciate that this time of the year because I try to just get in as many of the Oscar-nominated pictures as possible. So it's a time to catch up.
So were you on your?
That's how I look at it.
So you're hitting like Hulu, Netflix, all those now, or the on-demand stuff?
Remember, a lot of theaters now will run the Oscar-nominated films, even if they are not in the theaters anymore. So you could like buy a special ticket for like $30 and watch, go in and out in one afternoon, any 4 movies, for example.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And I only have 4 left because I have seen 4 out of the 8 Best Pictures this year already.
I just so far out of the 4 you've seen, what's your best picture for 2018?
Oh, Rome, definitely Rome, the one that's on Netflix.
Isn't that
Roma?
Roma, right? It's in Italian, all subtitled, right?
No, Spanish.
Spanish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chuck. I didn't mean to offend your heritage.
No, I thought you said Italian because I called it Rome first.
Yeah, I think I did actually. That's exactly what I did.
That's why I thought you said.
I have heard of it. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I've seen any of the best. I've seen Black Panther. Might be the only Best Picture nominee I've seen. I don't exactly get the time to go to the movies, so But this year, the kids are older. We're gonna see, and I'll do the thing where at night I'll go. The kids go to bed. Amy, is up watching The Bachelor. And I'll sneak out at, go see a 9-10 o'clock movie. So I'll be doing that a lot this summer to catch up on all these. All right. So April 26th, Avengers Endgame. What is about it? It is the finale, the final Avengers film at least in this form, in this franchise. I mean, obviously we're both thumbs up on this. I don't have to go into it.
Yes, that's even a question.
And yeah, like it's like, yes, we're super excited about seeing this.
Unless I had the first one and then I'm like, oh, this is boring, and then not kept going. But obviously I did.
So yeah, it's what's weird about the Avengers movies for me. The first one I loved. The second one I was like, it was all right. And then the third one I loved again. So I'm expecting to really enjoy this one. The trailer looks awesome. Tony Stark sitting in space, recording stuff for Pepper Potts, like, I'm not going to make it. My air's going out. I love you. And it just looks, I'm excited to find out how it turns out. Obviously, spoiler alert, but I don't think really they're not all dead, or at least they won't be at the end of the film. There's a reason why we know that, and that's coming up in the movies that are coming out this year. But I'm interested in seeing how they do it, and if they include any surprise kind of Marvel crossover superheroes, because there's been rumors that like Wolverine might be in this. I don't know how that universe, he's old in the last, what do you call it? What was the movie called? Logan or whatever?
I've never seen any of the X-Men movies.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen any of the Wolverine movies?
Before the Avengers, I had never even seen the Iron Man movies.
Oh my God, man!
I was telling someone the other day, I think I'm just on board with Marvel because it's trendy to be on board with Marvel, and I just bought in. I'm just like, okay, then I got to be one of the in people.
No, I understand, and you are very good about staying on top of pop culture and all that stuff. I get that.
Anything that people say is trendy, I'll be like, I'm gonna try that. I have genuinely loved the movie. Most of the movies that I've seen since then, whether it's older or solo movies, the together movies, it doesn't matter. I have actually enjoyed them. I really have.
So have you gone back and done, Iron Man 1 through 3 and
no,
4?
not all. Just like if I catch it, I haven't necessarily made it like a rule.
There's some really good ones. The original Thor's good. The original Iron Man's great. Like Captain America, and then Winter.
I had gone seen to the theater actually. Yes.
And Winter Soldier is amazing.
Yeah.
Captain America: Civil War is very good.
Thor Ragnarok. What was it called?
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that was great.
So yeah, so you're doing decent now. You're catching up. But yeah, I'm excited to see this one. I'm excited to see how, they get Thanos. I'm assuming they. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but. And excited to see how Captain Marvel fits in. And yeah, I'm really super excited about this one. Did you see that they're only in the trailers and the previews, they're only going to show parts from the first 15 minutes of the film?
In the trailers will only show, that's interesting.
Because there's just too much.
To not let us see anything, I guess.
Yeah, there's just too much. From what they've said, anything they show after that will be completely spoiler full. So, because think about it, half the characters are dead, right, at the end of the last one.
So if some of them become alive in the 16th minute of the movie, then I guess.
Yeah, so you don't want to, so they're keeping it all under wraps. So, I'm excited, very much thumbs up on this one. So the other night I tried to start getting the kids into the Avengers movies, and we put on the original Avengers, and they were lost. In the first 15 minutes, they're like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, "That's Loki. He's Thor's brother." They're like, "Who's Thor?" I'm like, "Okay, he's..." And without it went off the rails really fast. And by the time they started introducing you like Captain America, none of them in the beginning are wearing their costumes. The kids were like, "They're out. They're done." So we're gonna try it again. I also have hopes of them watching a lot of the Star Wars movies this year, but we'll see how that goes too. They all loved Star Wars, The Force Awakens with Rey, because Rey was a girl and she was, tough and, and they loved that, but we'll see. All right. So moving on, May 24th, Aladdin comes out. How do you call it? Live action version of Aladdin. What do you think? I am up in the air on this one tremendously. Because
you've seen trailers, or just because I haven't actually? I think I've only saw maybe the teaser. But
I think that's all that there has been.
Well, like you said a minute ago, based on the fact that every single one of these live action movies, except for Cinderella, has been incredible, then I don't see why not.
I'm super worried about Will Smith as the genie.
Why?
I love Will Smith, man. I have to admit, I love Will Smith. I think everything he's in is good. Well, it's not true. He's done some clunkers, but
I don't think I've seen a Will Smith movie in years. Actually,
what's that one he did with his kid? That was terrible. Nobody went to see that one. They're like on an alien planet or something. That was terrible. Yeah. I like Will Smith a lot. I didn't see Suicide Squad because I'm not a huge DC movies fan. But we should have talked about with Captain Marvel how there's a lot of worry that a female lead can't carry a superhero movie, but I think that's been kind of dispelled. Yeah, incredible. I was going to say that's been dispelled a bit by Wonder Woman. That was really good, and that's not a Disney movie; it's a DC movie, but it was really, really good.
Yeah.
But
so I don't see the problem with. I mean, I don't think Will Smith would could do a worse interpretation of the genie than any other famous actor that you asked to think of. Okay, how would you like to do the genie? Because it has to be a different version than what we were used to.
No, I know. I agree, and I think that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Will Smith trying to step into Robin Williams' shoes.
No, it'll be a whole different interpretation.
You think? I hope.
It has to be.
I hope it's not a fast talking, jokey. I just don't want that.
That's not him. No.
Yeah, he has to be kind of like a witty, sarcastic, but there has to be, obviously the reason why Will Smith is cast is he's very funny. So you need somebody who's going to be funny in the role. I don't know. Did you see the craziness when I think was it Entertainment? One of the magazines came out with him on the cover, but he wasn't blue. and people lost their minds.
So I don't really understand people. First of all, that's first world problems, as we say. That's the biggest problem you have. It's the fact that you're upset that a movie character is not going to be blue. That means that you live in the first world. But that's another thing. But I don't get it. These movies so far have not replicated everything perfectly. It's like Mary Poppins, for example. That Mary Poppins is a very different person than 1964 Mary Poppins.
Oh, I agree.
Different interpretation. That's all.
I agree. I really loved what's her name's version of Mary Poppins. Now I can't remember her name. Emily Blunt. She was very, very good. Completely different. Sang differently. Talked differently. Everything was different. She didn't do a Julie Andrews impression, which made it a lot better. So I'm hoping that
and none of these. I mean, as much of a fan as I am, I would not go see a Disney movie that was identical to the cartoon that we've seen 300 times, except with real people. What's the point of that?
All right, well, we have one coming up that might be that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
Because there's one in a couple movies from now that you may be changing your mind on that one. So Aladdin, again, a lot of it's under wraps. We don't know a ton about it. Who's in this movie? I don't even know who's in it.
I mean, I've seen the names, but I couldn't tell you besides Will Smith.
So yeah, Will Smith, Mina Massoud. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Newcomer, new actor as Aladdin. Naomi Scott as Princess Jasmine. And I don't really recognize any of the other names. So yeah, I'm not giving this 2 thumbs up. This is the first one I'm not giving 2 thumbs up. Can I go 2 thumbs halfway? I'm like Man on Film. Remember on In Living Color?
Oh yeah, 2 snaps in Z, 4 baby.
Yeah, give it 3 snaps in a circle. Yeah, I'm gonna give it thumbs halfway. We're like in the middle. How about you?
No, I'm definitely going. I can't, like you said, because so far the only one of the live action movies that I have not enjoyed so far is Cinderella. 1 out of how many have come out so far? I mean, that's pretty darn good. That's pretty good odds.
It is good. It is good.
So
it's a good percentage.
I don't see any reason why I would not like it. Plus, it comes out Memorial Day weekend, and you always have to have something to look forward to Memorial Day weekend.
I mean, so besides the barbecues and the
big movie to start the summer. Officially start summer with. Yeah. But I live in Florida, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, that's
your
story.
Your summer starts in February.
Summer starts here in 4 days when the temperature finally goes up again.
It's so true. All right, so next one, and this one is what I mentioned earlier. This isn't a Disney movie, but it's a Fox film, but it's released under Disney's name, so we're going to call it a Disney movie. June 7th, Dark Phoenix is being released. Chuck, do you know what Dark Phoenix is?
Is it about the city in Arizona after there's a blackout?
It is not about that.
No, the electricity plant that goes down. No, it's not that.
No, but maybe you should write a screenplay about that. See how that goes for you. This is the sequel to X-Men Apocalypse, and the story is Jean Grey, who's a super powerful mutant in that movie. She inadvertently unleashes the Phoenix, which is what she kind of morphs into in the mutant world. I don't know a ton about the movie. Doing research about it, there's not a ton out there. I did really like I've liked all the X-Men movies. I think I've seen them all. So I will. Here's the thing, though. I probably won't go see this in the theater, only because June 7th, my kids will almost be out of school. I'm not going to be able to sneak away and see it. So this is one I will probably see when it comes on, on demand or video. Not video. What am I?
Video. you're Captain Marvel back in the 90s.
I'll pick this one up at Blockbuster when it comes out. Make sure it's behind.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
I remember that commercial. You just flashed me back. Maybe we'll have that in Captain Marvel. That's another thing you can do. You can do a whole thing about Blockbuster Video in that movie. All right, so yeah, Jean Grey, cool superhero. X-Men are fun. I will not be seeing this one in the theaters. You?
I will not be seeing the theater, and I bet you 99.9% I'll never watch it, even on TV or demand or anything else.
All right, well, fair enough. Hey, man.
But
At
only
least
because I never got into the X-Men stuff, and I'm like, all right, why start now? It's too much.
you have a lot to catch up on
I
if you
gotta
try
draw
to
the
do
line.
that.
I gotta draw the line.
Yeah, there's a lot of X-Men movies.
It's too much.
One that I really liked was the rated R one, Logan. It's about Wolverine as he's gotten older. It's still Hugh Jackman, and
I remember that one doing very well.
super. Oh my God, is it violent? I remember the first couple minutes of it. I knew it was R, and in the first couple minutes of it, I was like, "Whoa!" Like this is way different than anything else they've done. And I really love the Deadpool movies too. I know they're not Disney, but the Deadpool.
Oh, those are good. Yeah.
Very, very good movies. Did you see that over Christmas they released a PG-13 version of Deadpool?
Yes.
Would you have any interest in seeing that?
I mean, no, because I'm over 13. But but what that reminded me of, I don't think this story has ever come out in any of the podcasts. But when Dirty Dancing came out, my parents and my aunt and uncle felt that it was not appropriate for us kids. So when it came out on VHS, talking about Blockbuster, they connected two VCRs to each other, and they put it into one VCR and put a blank tape in the other one, and they recorded Dirty Dancing, but they paused for the parts that they felt were not good. And then everybody got a copy, and they labeled the VHS tape, I'm not joking about this, Dirty Dancing Kids.
So they edited out the parts that you couldn't watch on their own.
That's right.
And you got to watch Dirty Dancing.
And it was labeled Dirty Dancing Kids until we all got rid of our VHS tapes and switched to DVD. Yes, that was I had never seen Dirty Dancing real. I had only seen this edited version by my mom and my aunt who edited it on their own.
So not only did they illegally copy a movie, they also took liberties with the direction of the movie as well.
Right. It's like, what are you, communist? It's up to you as to what people are allowed to see and hear.
We have to admit that you did grow up in the communist Cuba, so that's probably what the problem was.
Until we finally swam with the dolphins. I grabbed onto the dolphin's tail and came to America.
So I have to admit, talking about Dirty Dancing, I've never seen it. Never seen Dirty Dancing.
What?
Yeah, no. I've never seen that.
I saw the Broadway musical also.
So yeah, Amy's seen that. I guess I was a boy in the '80s. My mom, dad never, So and Amy's asked me as an adult to watch it. I'm like, I'm not sitting through.
The soundtrack alone is what I remember the most.
I know the soundtrack. I know that, and I know the famous lines like "Nobody puts baby in a corner."
Yes, of course.
Isn't there a part where in that movie where what's his name? Who's the guy? The guy that passed away, Patrick Swayze, where he's a bouncer at a roadside bar and he beats a lot of people up.
Another movie.
I'm kidding. That's Roadhouse.
Blockbuster, you never returned it. You owe like $3 million.
That's Roadhouse. I've seen Roadhouse a lot. Roadhouse is a good movie.
I never enjoyed Roadhouse.
You didn't like it?
No.
Roadhouse is a horrible movie, but it's a fun one to watch. If I'm flipping through cable and it's on, it's so outrageous that I'll watch it. So I got stuck doing that the other night. Inception was on, and I had stuff to do, and I'm flipping, and it was late, and the kids were asleep, and I'm flipping through the channels, and Inception's on. I'm like, I'll watch a minute of this. 2 hours later, I'm still watching it. I was like, what am I doing?
One sucks you in.
Man. All right, so moving on off of Inception and Roadhouse.
We're all at the beginning of summer.
Yes. In summer. All right, so here's the big one. Everybody's been waiting for years. June 21st, Toy Story 4 comes out. Already, obviously, thumbs up for me. I don't even have to wait for that.
Yeah, that's not even. And I'll bring the tissue box with me. I already know I'm supposed to do that.
So here's the only worry that I have, right? I feel like Toy Story 3 had it was a perfect ending to the series. So what are they going to do?
Remind me, because I've been meaning to rewatch it. I don't remember. How did it end, basically? Do you remember?
Yeah, so they were, Lotso was trying to kill them all at the dump, and they were saved by the aliens, by the green aliens. And and got out, made their way back to Andy's, who was going to college, had them all in a bag, and took them to Bonnie, the little girl, and gave them all to Bonnie. And it ended with him playing with all of his toys one last time with Bonnie in the backyard.
Okay. So obviously we're supposed to assume that at this point now Bonnie owns the toys until she grows up.
So this is pretty much on the wraps, but it is going to be the toys, Woody, Buzz, Jesse, in Bonnie's care. Bonnie owns them now. There's no Andy. At least he's not, he's much older in college. Andy, who knows? Andy might be a trader on Wall Street at this point. Who knows what the heck he's doing with his life? So the rumor was originally that it was going to be about the search for Bo Peep. And then that kind of went away. But did you see the art that was released yesterday?
No.
So it has the release date, June 21st on, it's a simple movie poster style art. It has the release date, June 21st, and there's a picture of Bo Peep. She's using her skirt as like a cape, and she's dressed kind of like Rey from Star Wars, and her staff is like slung over her shoulder like it's a weapon. So I'm very curious as to which direction Bo Peep went in after she was donated from Andy's sister, or from Andy, because it looks like she's had a rough couple of years.
Apparently.
So,
and guess is that maybe she winds up in that carnival, because we know that they go to a carnival at some point and they wind up meeting a new character that's a spork.
Yes. So his name is Forky. Okay. He's a spork. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. It looks hilarious. Like, I'm laughing at that character before I know anything about him. Right. How is that a toy? It's a spork with button eyes and a pipe cleaner for arms. It looks so ridiculous that I'm laughing looking at it. So, listen, I'm excited about this. I don't know. Are Key and Peele going to be in it, or are they only in that teaser trailer?
Oh, I thought I read that those are characters in the carnival.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
because they are hilarious. That trailer, the teaser was. I've seen that 20 times. It made me laugh so hard when it's like, you know what you are? You're an I don't care bear. It's so funny, man. And they're like, to infinity. They're trying to get to infinity and beyond. And he's like, to infinity and your mom. He's like, that's not how it goes. It's so funny. So I'm excited about it. I'm very, very curious as to what they're going to do with Bo Peep. And wasn't Bo Peep a porcelain doll?
I do not recall. That makes sense, right? It wouldn't have been. I don't think she would have been a figurine.
Right. Remember when she moved, the whole dress kind of moved with her. Like, it didn't. There was no like. I know I've seen this movie probably a lot more than you because, again, little kids. But there's no flow to it. She kind of hopped and the dress went. So I'm wondering how you could change a porcelain doll out of porcelain clothes. Maybe I'm thinking way too much into this. It's got to be the same doll because it's like the search for Bo Peep. Right. And she was like Woody's true love. Remember in the original, she was like, when she's like, maybe I can get someone else to watch the sheep tonight. And Woody's like, ha 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 ha. Like, it's great. And then, of course we had the Jesse and Buzz kind of flirting, and it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. So thumbs up?
Yes, thumbs up.
All right, moving on. All right, July 5th. And this is the one I was alluding to when we were talking about Avengers. Nope. That one? Nope, not yet. You're way ahead.
Oh, not yet? Oh.
You're 2 weeks early. You're 2 weeks early. I said it's the one we were talking about when I talked about Avengers.
Movies all within like 2 weeks?
I know. This is going to be nuts. July 5th. Well, no. Well, here's the thing. Again, this is not a Disney released film.
Oh, okay.
But it's co-produced and it's in the Marvel universe and it's related to Avengers 4. So it is technically a Disney character. And it's Spider-Man Far From Home on July 5th. I will be there. I don't care. I got to find a babysitter, a dog sitter, what I have to do. I'm there opening day. Definitely.
I've not watched any of the new Spider-Man movies.
No, you're kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
You didn't see Homecoming?
I know. I mean, I saw, I like, oh, it's a kid now, and I like them in the Avengers movie, and then that's it.
He's supposed to be a kid. He's Spider-Man. He's supposed to be.
I get it.
Oh,
I like it. I like the fact that they went that direction. I saw there've been so many Spider-Mans. I lose track. I can't.
Dude,
I can't.
If I had known, I would not have had you on this episode. I would have had Amy on. There's no way I would have had you on. I'm so excited about this one.
I think I stopped after like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, but those just forget about those movies.
I know I'm supposed to.
Look, the first one with Tobey Maguire I liked. The second one with Tobey Maguire I liked. The third one with him was terrible with Venom and what's the dude from that 70s show, Topher Grace? That was terrible. And then the Amazing Spider-Man films I didn't even bother with James Garfield, and I was like, it was way too soon for a Spider-Man reboot. Like the movies were just a few years apart. But when I saw that Homecoming was coming out, and I saw that Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man, is like legitimately a 16-year-old, I'm like, all right, I got to see this. And Chuck, it's so good. You have to watch Homecoming.
Probably will, and mostly because I really did like him in the Avengers movie. So if I like the character, then I assume I would like to see his standalone movie.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and it's great with Jon Favreau's in it. He plays Happy. He's Tony Stark's like right-hand man in the Avengers films and in the Iron Man films. He has a kind of a fun role. Tony Stark's in it. As what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. And his best friend is, I forget the kid that plays him, who plays Peter Parker's best friend in this. He is awesome. Michael Keaton, as I said earlier, an amazing villain. Like, he has these moments where there's this moment in the car. I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want you to watch it. But there's a moment he's in a car, and he goes from a dad to a supervillain in a split second. Like, in the blink of an eye, and and you're like, whoa. Like, he does this great, he's such a good actor. Dude, you have to see Homecoming. All right, so I'm visibly and very noticeably upset with you for not seeing it. But I'm going to try to get through the rest of this part. So, this is the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming, follows Peter Parker on a trip to Europe. So he's backpacking in Europe with his friends. And it takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. So we know Spider-Man at least will live past Endgame. So he comes back to life, or he didn't actually die, or whatever. He's actually going to be alive. And because we know they signed for 3 new Spider-Man movies. So this is the second of the 3.
Well, plus he's young, so it would be dumb to kill a character that's so young.
Exactly. And same as Black Panther, right? Black Panther made the studio, made Marvel and Disney $1 billion, and then he dies at the end of the last Avengers? No. There's no way they're letting that franchise die. They're going to make 8 more of those movies. Like, there's no way. So, listen, Spider-Man Endgame, he's going to be Spider-Man in Europe. That is awesome.
Okay.
Come on. All right, so before I have you on the next podcast, I don't know what the next topic's going to be. You have to watch Homecoming. You have to watch Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm telling you're gonna love it.
I'll look up to see how I can see it.
All right, man.
At the very least, I'll see it. Don't worry.
It is. My kids have actually seen it and loved it. All right. So moving on, July 19th is the movie you were just doing the music for. So now you got to do it again. What is it?
Something like that.
That's pretty good. It's very well done. And of course, what Chuck is very, very well and very good at doing is the music for The Lion King. So it's a quote unquote live action version of The Lion King, even though it's not live action at all. It's just a different form of animation. I guess it's mostly, or if not all CGI.
Would be the rocks and the trees would be real. It's just the animals aren't.
Is that true?
I mean, that's what it looks like. It's live action because it's the real environment, but that doesn't mean that the characters have to be real.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the animals are. I don't think you can get a baboon to hold a lion above its head. Like that's just...
I don't know how much peanut butter can you put on an animal's mouth to make them whatever that old we used to do.
Yeah, just the lion like Mufasa for the first 20 of the minutes of the movie is licking peanut butter off its mouth. It probably wouldn't work. But so listen, you know the story, you know Lion King. This is what I'm worried about though. And you said earlier, you mentioned that it's not a shot for shot or scene from scene version of the animated movie. This is what it looks like for this one. I'm hoping it's not.
Right. I never worried about it because I assumed that the first trailers should do that because it should. A lot of people will want to see these movies because they're familiar with it.
Oh yeah, it takes you back to your childhood.
As we get closer, I believe that we start to realize that it's a different take on certain story elements and or the characters themselves.
Agreed. I don't know. Let me. I didn't look up the voices. Shoot, I don't know. I don't know who's playing who in this movie.
People. I don't remember the names off the top of my head, but it's a huge list.
Yeah, it is a big list, and for some reason I didn't pull it up. But I know one thing I'm really excited about is that James Earl Jones is back to play Mufasa. No one else could do that voice. Like no one. Right. So he's not a young man anymore. He's mid-80s. So I'm glad they brought James Earl Jones back.
John Oliver is, I'm assuming, Zazu.
Yeah, Zazu, that's right. That's very cool. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. My kids want to see it. This is not like Dumbo where they're terrified. They see the previews. They're super excited. And I think you're right. I think when you see it on TV, I forget when they broke this trailer. It was during some big TV event when they first saw it. But
so wait. Your kids are not good with a elephant wearing clown makeup, but they're good seeing a kid watch his father getting killed by wildebeests.
Yeah, that's true. It's absolutely true. You know what it is? I think they feel more comfortable with the story. I don't know why, but they're super excited. Excuse me about it. I'm excited. I'm gonna give. I don't know. Like, is it going to be a musical? Are they going to be singing? Because you have to have some of the original songs in the movie.
I just assume because I believe most of when I saw the list of the people, they all I think Beyonce actually might even be one person.
That's true.
Thing. So yes, I assume that it'd be musical, like Beauty and the Beast and others were. So even Jungle Book, which had a little bit of music, which I didn't expect music at all in Jungle Book one.
Yeah, so we're going to get music probably and some songs and probably some new songs like the other movies did. Put in some new stuff. So yeah, it's exciting. Even the Queen Bee herself is going to be in. So that's going to be fun. Queen Bee, by the way, is also an LOL surprise doll, and she's the most difficult one to find. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Do you know what the LOL surprise are?
Yes, I do know what LOL surprise is because when you go into Target and you pass by the toy department aisle, they're all in the front, and so
unless you go at Christmas, they don't have any of them. Around Christmas, oh my God! So Santa Claus brings a lot of LOL surprise dolls around the country. All right, so moving on from The Lion King, August 2nd, and this one is, let me see. A Fox release, but still Disney owns Fox. So, The New Mutants is coming out. Any idea what The New Mutants are?
Would they be called Donatello, Raphael?
Oh man, it made me cough. That was very well done. No, they are not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Who, by the way, just
not those reboot movies either.
No, I haven't seen those either. They celebrated their 35th birthday just the other day. The Ninja Turtles, which I didn't know they were that old.
I thought that means that I'm old because I remember when they first came out.
I guess I don't because I know my cousins had those toys. I think I was a little too old. I thought I was too old for the toys, but apparently I was 5 when it came out, so maybe I wasn't. But I was into, when I was that age, 5, I was still into He-Man. And then as I got older, it was G.I. Joe and Mask were my two. Do you remember Mask?
I do remember Mask, yes.
Yeah, Mask was my favorite. And like a crazy person now, I look on eBay and I see these Mask like toy lots of like 12 cars and 30 action figures, and they're like $100 for all this, and I'm like, a whole Mask collection. Like, what am I gonna do with that? Like kids, like kids don't even really play with toys anymore. Like my kids got a million toys for Christmas. and looked at them for the first few days, and now it's electronics and video games again. Touchscreens, iPads, Kindles.
Right.
So they play a lot of games, but we make sure they do a lot of educational stuff on there too. Anyway, so the New Mutants is not a Ninja Turtle movie. No, it is. It is kind of like a spinoff of it's a spinoff of the X-Men. It's a group of teenage mutant superheroes who are captured and held in a special secret facility against their will while they are discovering their abilities. So it is, I think this looks cool. It's mostly unknown actors, young kid, teenagers. One of the people that's in it, one of the stars, is Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Oh, of course, yes.
So she's Arya, right? Arya Stark.
Right.
And she's going to be kind of the star. So I don't know. Listen, they're also the genre of this one is horror. So it's a mutant kind of action horror movie. So I think I'm in on that. Anything with where mutants can like destroy stuff and kind of cause a lot of damage and scare the pants off you, I'm in. Chuck?
Next.
So no, you won't be seeing. Is it because it's a new story and you don't?
X-Men, so I don't see the purpose. No,
But it's also a completely new story, right? You don't know this story.
Yes, but again, maybe it does tie too much into the fact that it's trendy to like Marvel. It's not trendy to like this movie you just explained.
All right, fair enough. Well, we'll see.
So I have so many movies to watch at any given moment of any given day that I can't. No, I'm not going to add that.
All right, so August 2nd, I'm going to be a thumbs up. I'm going to go see it. Probably not on the day of, but that'll be one of the ones when my kids fall asleep and I go out at like a 9 or 10 o'clock movie to see it. All right. Next one, August 9th. This one is one that I'm not super familiar with. I don't know the books at all. Artemis Fowl comes out August 9th. Chuck, do you have any idea what that is?
I mean, I think I don't know much more than you. I have heard that it's pretty popular. I mean, obviously it didn't get to Harry Potter level, but apparently they're pretty good.
Yeah, so there's 8 books, like young adult novels, apparently. The cast looks really good. Has directed by Kenneth Branagh, Josh Gad's in it, Judi Dench is in it. The kid who plays the Artemis Fowl is a kid that I've never heard of. Apparently the movie is about, I just saw what it was about. Hold on. A 12-year-old prodigy who sets out on an adventure to rescue his criminal father and restore the family fortune, described as Die Hard with fairies. I'm kind of in on Die Hard with fairies.
Yes, I like that.
I love that. I read this book once about Hollywood and how they pitch movies. And when Die Hard after Die Hard was a big hit, a ton of movies were pitched as Die Hard blank.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Die Hard I remember they made a joke about it.
Die Hard on a bus.
Exactly. That's Chuck, that was, I'm pretty sure that was one of them. That's like the exact pitch.
I've heard that. I've heard that reference before in something or the other, yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard on the bus. And there was, on Entourage, they made fun of it. They called it Die Hard at Disneyland was Matterhorn. It was a movie they were trying to get.
Oh, yeah.
And they were trying to get Vinny Chase to be in Matterhorn. And he bowed out, and then Colin Farrell ended up making like millions of dollars to star in Matterhorn. Which we all know that would never happen.
Because he wanted to be Escobar, no?
Yeah, he wanted to be Pablo Escobar in Medellin.
A long time, yeah.
Which, by the way, now there's been movies and TV shows about Pablo Escobar.
And all of Narcos on Netflix is very good.
Have you've seen it? I haven't seen it. People have told me that I would love that show. I gotta try to get into that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of anything like that, like the gang shows and any kind of old stuff like The Godfather, the mob movies, all that. I love that stuff. Another movie the other night, Goodfellas, was on. Found myself watching it for like an hour and a half. Goodfellas is one that we cannot talk about on this podcast.
No, but it is one of those movies where even though we've seen it a million times since it came out in the theaters, if it comes on TV, it doesn't matter if it's the beginning, the middle, the end. I wind up probably watching a bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, there's always a part where you get sucked in, like when the mom's making them dinner after they have the in the trunk, and they're all, it's 3:00 in the morning, and he's got I can't talk about it, but it's a great movie. All right. So Artemis Fowl, where were we? Artemis Fowl, thumbs up or thumbs down on that one?
I think for me, that's a movie that I would watch not in the theater, but I think I would try to catch it when I see that it comes out on Netflix or Demand or HBO or something.
I agree. I think I won't see that in the theater, but it's definitely a.
I mean, as it is, you've already said so many movies I'm going to go to the theater for that I see my summer going by without being outdoors in the sun.
Yeah. I know, like between this and the shows that are released, like every week something new comes on Netflix and somebody's like, "Yeah, you have to watch this," and it's amazing how much entertainment there's out there. If you're looking, I mean, it's amazing.
There is so much more content than there used to be. It's
there
ridiculous.
is. It's crazy, and like just like little things, like now Netflix is making original movies with big stars, like Sandra Bullock with that Bird Box movie.
That was good.
Yeah, like I watched it. I loved it until the end. I thought the end was a little kind of but yeah, I thought it was good. And now I'm watching The Punisher season 2, which is talking about violent. Holy cow, is that violent? But yeah, it's just you can't even keep up with all the stuff. And then I'm thinking I still have to rewatch all of Game of Thrones leading up to the new season.
I did that before the last season, so I don't know if I need to do it again.
You could just do the previous season,
or just the last episode of each season. I've done that before for other shows.
Oh, that's a good idea. That'll save me some time. That'll save me like 60 hours, 60 hours of TV. I probably should do that. All right, so November 22nd. Moving on to Frozen 2 coming out. No, we know. No.
No, I'm kidding. Who's not going to see that movie?
I know. I mean, I'm going. I'm already in.
You don't see that movie. There's something wrong with you.
What do we know about Frozen 2 so far? What do we know?
Do we need to know?
What I'm saying is we don't know anything about it. We don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so you definitely get, all the original characters back. Not Hans, obviously. He'll be in jail or in prison or wherever he is. A work release program. He did try to murder 2 people in that movie, in the original. So you get, Kristen Bell as Anna. You get Idina Menzel as Elsa. Josh Gad as Olaf. And I'm sure Kristoff, whose name I forget. I forget the guy's name who plays Kristoff.
Yeah.
He was also in the Girlfriend show, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. But so we know we get them back. More Adventures in Arendelle. Directed by Jennifer Lee, who co-directed the first one. So, all right. So I think it's going to be, that's going to be one that we all see in the movies, without a doubt. 2 thumbs up.
And I have to admit, I did not see the first one in the theaters.
Wow, really? That's surprising.
It was one of those things where a lot of times for me, because of my once something is trendy, then I'm very curious. A lot of times with these Disney animated features, I'm like, well, let me see if it really takes off as a thing. And so once people just kept singing the songs and talking about it nonstop, then I'm like, all right, I better see this thing. And of course, I loved it. I loved it. As soon as I saw it, I loved it.
So it became a phenomenon. I mean, it's got, it's all over the theme parks and it's insane. I mean, but we had our twins were babies when this came out, so we couldn't take them. So I took Alexa. It was her first ever movie. And I remember being really super nervous that she wouldn't like it. And within the first 5 minutes, just song after song after song. And she was just glued to the screen for the entire thing. I think she was like 3 or 4 when it came out. Great. Yeah, she loved it. It was a great movie. I remember being blown away. And I bought the soundtrack that night. Like I was like, I'm getting the soundtrack for the car because it was that good. So, by the way, did you see Idina Menzel at the end of Rent Live the other night?
I did. I watched the Rent live. I haven't liked the live Broadway musicals, most of them actually.
So it ended up not being live. They ended up taping it. It was
I heard somebody got hurt.
Yeah, the lead, one of the leads, broke his foot in rehearsal. So all but the last song were a recorded dress rehearsal. So that's kind of a bummer. So most of it wasn't live until the end. But Idina Menzel came out at the end with a lot of the original cast and belted out like a 10-second part of I think it was Seasons of Love, and the crowd just went nuts. And you could tell that she can man, can she sing? It's unbelievable, that girl's voice. That was neat to see. But anyway, Frozen 2 thumbs up for me, definitely. We will be there, I'm sure, opening night.
It's the 26th, so I'm assuming because Thanksgiving's the 23rd this year.
Yes, the night before, yep. Right, and the day after my birthday, so we were going to squeeze that in. Right. It's going to be a fun couple of days. All right. Last movie we're going to talk about December 20th, of course,
So
Star
it'll be a big
Wars.
Christmas movie. Oh, duh. I was like, oh, are we missing one? And obviously, okay, got it.
Yeah, this is it. This is the one we're missing. Star Wars Episode 9. We don't have an official title for it yet, but Star Wars Episode 9, we don't even know, honestly, anything about it. Thumbs up. I know a lot of people didn't love The Last Jedi. I did. I thought it was great. So maybe I'm a super fan. Maybe I'm a Star Wars can do no wrong. I don't know. I loved Episode 9. The only part I didn't love about Episode 9 was Finn wasn't really a part of it, and he was with that Rose girl who wasn't.
Oh, the whole time at the casino.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense, right? That part didn't really fit in.
No, I mean it made sense that they each had a job to do and then all come together at the end. That made sense.
I guess so. I didn't love that.
It takes a village, Phil. It takes a village.
It seemed like a forced thing to kind of show how bad the universe had gotten or the galaxy had gotten. I just didn't love that part. But listen, people complained about the way Luke went out, and listen, you had almost 2.5 years to see this. You should have seen Episode 8. If we're ruining it for you right now, then turn your sound off. People had a lot of problems with the way Luke went out. What did you think? Were you okay with it?
Well, I don't think it really bothered me either way. I mean, I figured he was going to go out, so it didn't really bother me which way.
But I mean, the projecting himself into a different, where he tricked Kylo Ren and all. And people were like, well, Luke wouldn't do that. I don't know.
That's reading. I'm not that crazy about it. I'm not that much of a fan.
So you can just appreciate, yeah,
to analyze a character and what they would do, except for the actual script in front of them. No, I don't do that.
So you can just sit back and enjoy it as a film, and it's
I've
not.
never done the whole thing of who would win in a fight, Superman against the Hulk. I don't do that.
Well, Superman, obviously, the Hulk doesn't stand a chance. I mean, that's a silly question. If you want to get we're not going to get into it. I'm not. What's funny is I'm kind of like you. I wasn't a huge comic book fan growing up. I would look at them. I would buy one once in a while, like the big popular ones that would come out. I remember one when Superman died for the first time in the 90s. That I bought that comic book, and but I wasn't nuts about it until I jumped on the X-Men when that first came out, and that's when I got super into it. And then I've been big on Spider-Man and Superman and stuff like that. Batman's always been my favorite. So I've been big on all that stuff ever since. But anyway, yeah, so we know a little bit about this movie. We know Billy D. Williams is going to be Lando Calrissian back in the movie. That should be cool. We know Carrie Fisher somehow will be in the movie. I don't know how they're going to handle.
Well, they said there was enough footage,
right,
made or whatever.
So it's interesting that they're going to use. I'm glad they're not going to just CGI her in there like they did with.
Yes.
The general in.
It was creepy though because it did come out pretty good.
It did, but you could tell it wasn't real at the same time.
No, you could tell,
but it was pretty close.
Again, none of that is real, Phil. So it's
come on, Chuck.
Did you see the articles that came out around that time about for just normal people to do that with their loved ones in the future? It's definitely coming. There's no way it's not coming.
There is an episode of Black Mirror. Did you watch that show?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
and it stars the girl who is, she's in Captain America. She's I forget her name, Peggy. She was on Peggy Carter, and she was that Agent Carter TV show. So she is in that episode of Black Mirror, and in the movie, her husband passes away, and it's so creepy. Or in an episode, her husband passes away tragically in a car accident, and her friend is like, you should sign up for this service where your husband can talk to you online. And she's like, and they're like, they scrub all his social media, his phone, all these online accounts that he has, and it figures out how he can still talk to you from beyond the grave. And she's like, no, it's horrible. I'm not going to do it. And then one day she's like, you know what? I miss him too much. I'm going to do it. So she signs up, and one night he starts texting with her, and they're texting back and forth, and it's him, or at least it's like a mirror, or it's so creepy. And then it goes on the phone calls, and she gives more information, and they're on the phone and they're talking, and then eventually she buys this kit that she puts in her bathtub. I don't know how that works, and it grows a clone of her husband, and he lives with her, and it's so creepy. It's just a fascinating show. But yeah, it's so that's one of the one Black Mirror episodes that I watched, and now I'm like, it freaks me out because I think you're right. I think that's going to happen. It's scary stuff.
Well, especially because all you really have to do, for example, I think the example I read back during that time is like if you have a wedding, if your parents passed away before you got married, the wedding video could add one of your parents back in by using old footage or something.
Yeah, that's really weird. That's bizarre. So like I have my mom, like if my mom passed away 20 years ago, I have my mom at like my same age that I am now at an event. That's weird.
No, obviously they could also, the technology exists to age them also.
Okay. All right. We're very scientific in this. I think people are listening to this and they're like, these guys are idiots. All right. So back to the movie. It's almost the entire full cast, of course, of those, except for those who have been killed off in the other Star Wars movies. But now we're getting Kerry Russell in the new Star Wars movie. The rumor is maybe she plays Rey's mom, but I don't know how that would work because Kylo Ren in the last film told Rey, your parents were nothing. They were junkies. They were, they sold you or they left you behind for their drinks or whatever it was. So I don't know if she's going to play her mom. I'm really interested.
Kerry Russell, Felicity?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to picture her face, and I figured it was her. Okay.
She also went on to do the Americans, which is one of the. If you've never seen
right, which I intend to watch, but I never get to watch it.
That is an amazing TV show.
Yeah, I know. I've heard.
Really good.
I love it when it's time to do watch.
Yeah. That'll be something that you binge and you get through. It takes you a month to watch everything, and it's excellent. But I think it goes without saying again. Thumbs up. I'm ready for Star Wars. I'm sure.
I don't think I'm going to get to see it in the theater because around that time, I intend to get online for Star Wars Land sometime around then, and I'm assuming I'll still be online.
I was wondering what the heck you were talking about. I was like, what do you mean you're not going to go see this? You're nuts. Yes.
Someone's going to have to hold my place, and I'll run to Disney Springs, watch the movie, and then come back in line. And they'll still have 7 hours left before I get to go.
Yeah, you've only moved up 3 or 4 feet in line at that point. That's going to be insane. So it's really good timing. You think about it when it's coming out. I mean, it's coming out December 20th. Star Wars Land's going to open somewhere probably. When does the fall go into? Like the first week of December? I think so. It could have technically opened
officially like the 21st. This is the solstice.
So there you go. So it's probably going to be pretty close.
If now we're talking about Florida fall, that's different. But
yeah, that
2 weeks in early November. That's about it. But I do find it interesting though that because Disneyland is going to open first, obviously any big TV special that they're going to do with all celebrities going down the red carpet to go into Star Wars Land, that it'll be months and months and months before the movie premiere. So I'm kind of a little surprised that they wouldn't have done it all together.
Yeah. Is it because they can't? They're just so terrified of the crowds that they don't want to make the darn opening to land.
Space out and figure things out. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
but can you imagine if it was the movie premiere and the theme park land at the same exact time? Like all these celebrities go in. They watch it on a huge screen outside, and then they go on the rides.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. But yeah, I think you're right. It's logistically that's a nightmare for Disneyland. Like they don't have places to put people already because the 4th hotel got canceled. Where are they going to put all these people? I get the outside hotels when Star Wars Land opens. They already make a bundle of money. They're going to be making a ton of money because. Like it's gonna be insane there, and I will be there this summer to see it. So I'm excited to check it out.
Yep, exciting. Anybody who gets to see it, before all of us who see it in Florida, that's pretty exciting.
And then, let's be honest, I'll get to walk through. Who knows if I'll get to go on an attraction? I'll have to pull some strings.
I mean, if the attraction's already open, just wait online for 8 hours.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be waiting.
It's not like it's not worth it.
Yeah, what I'm going to have to do is my kids won't even care to ride them, so I'll have to have Amy watch the kids for the day and hang with the kids, and I'll spend all day in line for 2 rides because I'm going to have to do them if I'm out there. I have to. Anyway, Chuck, got a lot of thumbs ups, just a couple of thumbs downs from you on the list. I know you will be first in line to see the New Mutants and Artemis Fowl coming very soon. So, all right. So, of all the movies,
those were on the list.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I already forgot that they were even on the list.
So, from all the movies that we talked about today, which one? What's your number one that you're most excited for?
Well, I'm not going to bother saying Star Wars because for me, it's almost like that's a given. So, out of the original movies, I'm actually going to say Lion King.
Lion King, interesting.
Yes.
So original movies meaning, because that's not, it's a remake, right? So it's not original.
Well, right. So not a sequel to a movie we've already seen.
All right. So that means you're taking Avengers Endgame out of it. You're taking a lot of stuff out of it.
Story. Well, there's just so many sequels. I mean, what can you do? They're almost equal to me. I don't know. What do you actually have one that's well above all the rest? Probably not.
As far as non-sequel, Avengers Endgame to me is the one I want to see the most. I'm most looking forward to that. Even ahead of Star Wars, I'm looking forward to Avengers Endgame. So I think I would go Avengers, Star Wars, Toy Story 4 are my 3 that I'm most excited for this year. Oh, no, lying. Spider-Man ahead of Toy Story.
Oh, yeah, you said that was the one that you seemed, like you were going to be online the night before when the theater starts.
So it goes Avengers, Star Wars, Spider-Man are my 3. So, all right, man. Well, thank you again, Chuck, for coming on. I was so excited to do this one. I think we just made Disney a lot of money because we got people excited for some movies. So
yes, I'm sure we squeezed out another 0.00001% of profits for them.
That's okay. That might, maybe that'll lead to a Disney booking for me. So someone will be like, I really liked what he had to say about Artemis Fowl. I'm going to book a trip with him. Chuck, you're the best. Thank you again. And we should do some reviews when some of these come out. Maybe over the summer, do another episode.
True.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck. And that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There Disney Podcast. Thank you once again to my guest host, my co-host. We need an official name for the person that's on the show with me each week. I like guest host. That's pretty good. But thank you to Chuck Rodriguez for coming on to talk all about the movies. Chuck is a movie buff, and it's a lot of fun to talk movies with him. Of course, unless it's something he doesn't want to see, and then he kind of poo-poos it, which is also fun. So thank you, Chuck, again for coming on. Thank you again to Bob. And thank you so much, sincerely for listening to this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you're excited and looking forward to all of these amazing movies that are coming out in 2019. I know mostly we do shows about the theme parks and the restaurants and the resorts, but these movies are an awesome taste of the Disney company that you can enjoy at home. And we're going to be doing a lot of enjoying these movies, I think, this year. So get ready for Toy Story 4, get ready for Star Wars, get ready for the Avengers, get ready for Spider-Man, get ready for Artemis Fowl, which I don't know about, but I will eventually see. Thank you again so much for listening. Remember, there will be a new episode of the Ear to There podcast each and every Monday, sometimes Tuesday, as well as an episode of It's a Food World or the Walt Disney World Word of the Week on Thursday. So until next time, you are awesome. Thank you for listening. I really mean that. There are a ton of Disney podcasts out there, and I really, really, really am so appreciative of you and the fact that you are listening to mine. So thank you again. Have an amazing week. Enjoy it with your friends, with your family. Bye-bye.
Ear to there, ear to